Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from New York City. You're watching live coverage of the final day of WCS America Season 1. Of course, I'm Axeltoss. I'm joined by Axslav. We're watching the Challenger League, where Huang Xin just 2-0'd Suppy in the first match, taking a lot of people off guard, perhaps taking Suppy off guard a little bit.
Caught me off guard a little bit. I mean, honestly, Huang Xin played great.
Yeah.
Suppy looked a little bit confused in how to deal with a lot of those builds. And, you know, maybe he's been spending too much time in his summer classes, not enough time playing StarCraft. I don't know. But whatever it is, hopefully he'll come through the group later on. But next match is going to be great as well.
Yeah, next map is going to be Illusion versus Tilea, the American versus the Kiwian.
Yeah.
Yes?
Let's just say that.
Okay. So that's what's happening here. Of course, a TVR in a sense. Tilea has chosen to play Zerg in this matchup. The players are ready, so I'm going to hit that start game button. Countdown has begun.
So you know what's interesting is against someone who picks multiple races, vetoes have to be a little bit complex. Of course, I think against Terran, she might always play Zerg. Because I know she almost never plays Protoss. And I don't think she would. I don't think she likes Terran Mirror.
Yeah. So I think the only decision comes in when she's playing against a Protoss.
Yeah, and then she plays both Zerg and Terran.
Do I play Zerg or Terran?
Yeah.
But when she plays, obviously avoiding the mirror matchups,
yes.
playing a Zerg or a Terran. But here we are in game one. It's gonna be on Star Station. In the bottom right-hand location, I present to you your red Terran player, hailing from the United States. One of the first kind of up-and-comers, the first really young players to make a splash on the scene. Of course, this was a couple years ago. Now he's a little bit older. I think he's 17 now, or even 18 at this point in time. He is Illusion.
We start calling people who are 17 old.
I know.
What is the world coming to? But it's funny
relative.
Exactly, but the funny thing is, it's not that he's old relative to other pros. In fact, he's still one of the younger pros.
Oh, sure.
It's just that he has so much experience. He's like the most experienced,
seasoned
17-year-old
He's got
programmer.
some esports gray hair.
There you go, esports gray hair.
Which isn't a bad thing.
No,
it's a good thing. So, gosh, he's been unlucky too. I just want to talk about that a little bit. He's been unlucky in WCS America. I'm gonna say it. He barely didn't get in the round of 16. Just barely.
He actually beat Moonblade.
He beat Moonblade 2-1.
Who, of course, ended up making a top 8. So.
Yes. Think about that for a second. And then he barely lost to Alicia 1-2. It was so close. Like, he easily could have won games 2 and 3 or whatever. Very heartbreaking. And then he had to go up against Maxed and Tasia in the Challenger League bracket stage.
And he beat Maxed.
Yes.
Who's one of the top 3 players in China, most likely, or
yep.
if not top 3, top 5. Very, very, very talented.
And then if he had beaten Tasia, he would have had to play Pull. So, we'll see if Illusion can make it out of this group. I know he's been looking for some luck to be on his side. But his opponent in the top left-hand location, your blue Zerg player, hailing from New Zealand. She is Tilea. Tilea, not too much experience in WCS America so far. Qualified through the Challenger League bracket stages. We see a hatchery in the middle of nowhere. Completely standard, don't even worry about it. Challenger League bracket stage, she lost to Kapach 1-2. So talk to me about that hatchery in the middle of nowhere, Mr. Nick.
The idea is it's for creep spread, and she's going to take a fast third base with the 4th hatchery.
This is where you tell a story about Zerg and how that hatchery is instrumental in the survival of the Zerg race, because you're supposed to have hatcheries in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I mean, Zerg's all about creep, right? That's how that's actually how the Zerg race
that's actually really
eats,
good.
isn't it? I think they.
Is that? Hold on.
They get nutrients.
Does she have a pool?
No. No, this is. She did this for Kapach too. Remember?
4 hatch before
on
pool?
On Cloud Kingdom. It was 3 hatched and pooled in like 2. It was like 5 hatched before their attack. It was on
Was
Cloud
it 4
Kingdom.
hatch before pool though?
It might have been. I don't remember.
Jeez Louise, that's
but
pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah, I actually like this. You know, I don't like it to the point where I'm 100% sure it's gonna be standard, but it's cool because 2 things. One, Terran can't really punish this. Of course, this is a reaction to scouting the command center first. She obviously wouldn't do this against a Reaper.
Yeah.
Right. So this is obviously risk command center first. Terran's not gonna have too many units early. Now, the one thing is she does have to pay attention to scouting because she should not let this bunker get up. She should.
She sees it. She sees it being built right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised she's not sending drones. You know, she may assume that there can't be too many units that can pop in. There's only be like 1 or 2 Marines, right? In fact,
that's not going to kill a hatchery.
No. I mean, and the interesting thing is that this is one of the situations where a bunker isn't necessarily cost efficient. Although it can force some Zerglings. If the second Marine doesn't get in it, like 6 Zerglings will beat a bunker with a Marine without a problem, right?
Yeah, just pull back the weakened ones.
Yeah.
And
just,
take out the SCV.
Even though the bunker's tough, the damage output will be so low because there's only 1 Marine in it. Oh, is that second?
Oh!
She had it!
Oh
and
my
then
gosh!
What happened is she thought the Zergling attack went off, and she canceled the animation while it was in mid-claw.
Mid-claw. I like that term you just used, Nick.
And that's got to be frustrating.
That's a cool term.
With the Queen, she's actually maybe making too many Zerglings here. 8 more on the way. I don't think she needs those. I mean,
well, can these Zerglings do any damage across the map? There.
Well, we'll see.
There's no wall in the main.
You're right. In fact, there's 2 Hellions are going to pop out,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, with decent micro, they should just get totally toasted up. Of course, Zerglings without speed are no match for Hellions.
All right, a little bit of a pause here from Tilea. So that bunker should be taken out fairly soon.
Yes.
The hatchery isn't that low in health.
No, the hatchery can take a good amount of damage.
Yeah.
And she has like a bunch of queens out. Let me see exactly. She has 3 queens out now. So it looks like actually they're about to get back in the game.
Yeah.
So as soon as she can keep 1 queen in main, it's exactly like this. And of course, the reason he pulled the units out of the bunker is try to get the salvage off, right?
Because you can't salvage it while people are in the bunker.
And
So that'd be kind of funny. You're inside a bunker and it's salvaging, and you're like, wait!
You know, you should be able to do that, but the units die. They get stuck in it.
That's barbaric.
Because when you salvage a building, you gotta block up the doors and stuff, right? Just because you start taking everything apart.
Oh, sure.
And so they can't get out, and then they just die.
Doesn't that cost money doing that, though?
I don't know.
I guess it costs
I just
money.
randomly made stuff up there.
No, that makes complete sense to me.
So one cool thing is, like, with minimal creep tumors, look at the creep spread. It's like, it's already 1/4 of the map pretty much in creep, just from that hatchery that's put out there, right? Now, Hellen's going to try to harass both with the queens. They shouldn't be able to do too much. And of course, there's a couple of drones that a third are going to be vulnerable. I'm surprised that one of the queens didn't hang out the third.
All spines. Queens marching their way forward. Wow.
That's a lot of drones, actually. This early on, before the 8-minute mark, I mean, it's not irrecoverable, and it's something that Tyrion wouldn't want to sacrifice units for, but a free pickoff.
It's like 10% of her economy right there.
Yeah, that's a great move for Illusion.
All right, so need to make sure you have a spine there, at least, maybe a queen, just to try to fend those Hellions away. And Illusion making, is that more Hellions? So he's up to like 10 or something? Or did I missee that? Okay, he's up to 8 Hellions.
A lot of Hellions are out here.
Okay, let's see what those can get done. Obviously, denying the third.
There's no Zergling speed, so that's going to be nice, right?
For the Hellions, yeah. Our Roach is on the way, though.
Yeah, exactly. So Roaches will deflect them, but it's not like Roaches will kill the Hellions unless he decides to try to get some drone kills and run through the Roaches.
Sure.
And the fact is that there's a very open third on Star Station, which makes Hellions very good at just running in and picking off drones there.
So this is pretty interesting. Instead of going for the +1 melee on an Evo chamber, Tilea has decided to go for a +1 missile attack. So if we're talking about standard ZVT play, most Zergs are going for obviously the melee attack, the heavy Ling style, getting the 2-2, getting a Baneling nest, really going for the Ling Baneling unit composition. In this game, we're seeing Tilea making the Roaches a standard. That's fine. A lot of Zerg players do that to try to help deal with the Hellion shenanigans and of course potential drops a little bit later. But in getting the +1 missile, that implies a later game investment throughout the game into maybe a Roach-based composition, maybe a Hydra-based composition, maybe even something like Swarmhost, but definitely a deviation from what is considered standard as far as the Ling Baneling meta play.
It definitely shows she wants to use some heavy Roach Hydra throughout the game, and that's a style that was popular early on in Heartless Swarm amongst several Zergs, you know, just as far as a general way to approach Terran. It's a little bit stronger against Widow Mines. But it's kind of lost some favor. You know, drop play can be a little bit tricky to deal with. And of course, the late game and the super late game when you're both maxed out, you really have to have some supplemental forces. But in Star Station, there's a lot of very scary timing attacks a Zerg player can do, just because the third is so exposed. And that makes the Roach Hydra can just overwhelm the third base quite often before the Terran can really have their production kick into high gear.
So Illusion would love to get a lot of drone kills here, and he's going to get a lot of drone kills. But what's really important about that attack, too, is able to identify the number of Roaches out of his opponent. So upon that little poke in the third base, killing all those drones, he should have a good idea of what his opponent is going for, and he should be able to react appropriately.
What I'm curious to see is Tilea going to go for a big attack on a third base as soon as Roach speed finishes, or is she going to just, you know, use Roaches defensively and just try to macro up a lot of bases? We can see kind of both things going on now. A fourth base being taken by Tilea, but she also is moving out to put on some pressure. Now, Illusion has such a large army that not sure if she can really deny the third base. Typically, you want to be about 30 to 40 feet ahead with these roach time attacks if you're looking to deny your opponent's space.
Yeah, and we can see that she's about 12 below, 10 below her opponent. 14 drones immediately started, so just posturing across the map there. But again, that's a lot of sacrifice to your later game economy, your later game tech by making all those roaches. And look at this, she's going back into +1 melee attack and adding on carapace. So all over the place. She's gonna, for the next 4 or 5 minutes, she's gonna have a very low tech army, and I feel like Illusion might have a timing behind 2-2 with potentially a lot of medevacs that could really do a lot of damage when there's not going to be a ridiculous amount of mutas or a ridiculous amount of high-tech units on the field.
Medevacs could be an issue. We can see here Illusion set up some multi-pronged aggression. He's got some medevacs headed across the bottom left. He also has some Hellions by the fourth, but Tilea's got that protected very well. Hellion getting snapped off right there.
Yep. Nice posturing there from Tilea, and definitely sees those medevacs jetting down the left-hand side of the map. Let's see how she reacts to that. 32 Lings in production. So is going to be switching back into the Ling, Baneling, Muta style, I would expect, considering the Spire is already done and making so many Lings and so many Banelings in that production tab. I don't know if Baneling's speed has yet been started. We'll definitely keep an eye on that. But the drop going to be occurring here in the main base. Meanwhile, there is a push coming down the middle of the map towards that middle hatchery. Tilea going to try to engage it. The Banelings, Lings, and Roaches coming forward. Pick it up immediately as Illusion. Going to scoot on over to that fourth base. Illusion is absolutely everywhere, trying to get that damage done, and going to be mildly successful here.
Oh, he is. The fourth is under fire. The third is under fire. Illusion's really taking very few losses. He's controlling both these forces very well. When the force starts to become overwhelmed, he just picks it up and gets out of there.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's going to target down the Spire. Can he take it down? It's down to 300 HP in the orange, in the red, but no, he's going to pick up, go right into the main base, and another drop happening here at the fourth. 2-2 just kicked in as well. So these Marines Marauders are going to be very powerful compared to his opponent. I think a +2 upgrade has not yet been completed for Tilea. I think it has 1-1 for both melee and missile and carapace, but +2 carapace just about to finish. So a nice upgrade advantage here from Illusion. Also keeping it up, starting 3-3 right away.
And mutas are out now, so the drop on the far right side is days are numbered, but the drop heading back to the third, of course, only a few Marines there, so going to be cleaned up pretty easily. But like you mentioned, behind this, Illusion's built up this 2-2 army. He has a lot of units. He just has to make sure he doesn't fight too deep on the creep, or if he does, he needs to make sure the Widow Mines really negate the Banelings at Tilea.
I mean, his opponent doesn't have Baneling speed just yet, so honestly, I don't think I'd mind at all if he went too far on the creep. Of course, he doesn't know that. Well, he could spot a Baneling and try to identify that, but it can be very risky. So try to clear up this creep, posturing those Widow Mines forward, trying to split them up a little bit. Great positioning here on these Widow Mines. But here we go, Tilea going to try to set up a flank here. Baneling speed has not yet kicked in. It definitely needs to be waiting for that, I think.
Yeah, I think she's going to wait for that.
Ouch.
There's moments from completion. Mutas are in a situation too, but the Widow Mines have a great spread, and the more spread out the Widow Mines are, the more effective they're not going to be, as they're not both going to hit the same group of units.
Illusion is maxed. Actually, both these players are maxed. Illusion, though, going to have the advantage. Targeting down the Spire with those Marines and Marauders. Saw it earlier, went and finished it off. Great move there from Illusion. And again, pouring units across the map. Marines and Marauders. Again, reinforcement after reinforcement brigade on the way. Units trying to split up here, trying to absorb those Widow Mine shots. Can Illusion get any spectacular ones? Looks like Tilea actually doing a decent job cleaning this up.
Cleaning up the army very well, and Tilea is actually starting to have a little bit of money in the bank. She's maxed out.
Yeah.
And now she's on a counterattack. Of course, Illusion.
84 drones for Tilea, by the way.
That's a lot of economy there. She wants to deny its fourth base. I don't think it's going to have on the planetary. They're going to have to back away. Meanwhile, Illusion is actually launching a big attack of his own at her fourth, but she's actually going to go try to kill the planetary.
Okay, so a little bit of a pseudo base trade type situation. Just two counterattacks going on. Looks like this planetary fortress should be denied by those mutas, Lings, and Roaches. Meanwhile, the top side of the map, we've got the Marines Marauders taking down the hatchery. So trading bases, essentially, when you're trading bases like this, I feel like it's always going to favor the Terran.
It's, it almost always does if they can lift the orbital, but if they can't, it's sometimes tough to tell. Depends who has more money in the bank and who wants those trades. In this situation, I think it does definitely favor Illusion. He has two more command centers on the way, whereas Tilea, has to restart those hatcheries from scratch.
Tilea sending all of her units up here, trying to deal with this bio army, going to be mildly successful, and Illusion going to pick up and back off with those medevacs. Meanwhile, two Marines somehow make their way into the natural expansion, taking down some more Lings from his opponent, and now he's going to push across the map again. Keep in mind, I think 3-3 just finished for Illusion, compared to his opponent, who only still has 2 carapace, 1 missile, 1 melee.
It's a funny missile turret. Does its job, though. Takes out a mutant and spots that the army moving over there, so that's a nice little addition in there. Tilea, no intention of going to Hive here, really. Just, you know, building more and more mutas, continuing to upgrade to Zerglings. Now they're at 2-2. Getting an upgrade for mutas now with 6 more on the way. So she's really focusing on basically the layer tech composition. And this can work pretty well up until Tyrion has a huge economy in 3-3. And that's exactly what Illusion is having now as he's set up this 4th base. Once that 4th is set up, he's going to have the economy to just rally endless streams of 3-3 units across the map. Tilea's going to have to either take out this 4th or progress to Hive Tech, or maybe have some magical engagements with some great baiting hits to go forward in this game.
Illusion's going to be very happy with this unit composition right now. Again, Max being on 3-3. And as you said, I feel like that's a very important point as far as Tilea needing a magical engagement, needing those baiting hits to be very, very, very good. Because if Illusion can optimize, you know, splitting up his units, I don't see how Tilea can take a ridiculously cost-efficient trade, you know, based on just the sheer number of units Illusion has on the field and the upgrade advantage that he has right now.
It's definitely something she's going to have to watch out for. Queen's a little bit caught off guard. A counterattack here in the 3rd base of Illusion with a lot of Zerglings, but he does have a bunker unit, so that's going to be cleaned up without too much of a trouble.
He's going to be just fine. Here comes Illusion, the Marines and Marauders sprinting forward. Bailey's trying to get those shots off, trying to take down those mutas, and now Illusion needs to be preemptively splitting his units. Plenty of medevacs overhead, that's great. Drilling Claws is done on the Widow Mines, so those Widow Mines will get down to the ground without any hesitation whatsoever. And Illusion with a great position here. Great Widowmine shots there on the mutas as well, really softening them up, a lot of them in the deep orange health. And Illusion doing a great job of splitting up those units, making sure he doesn't leave himself vulnerable to a potential bailing attack.
Oh, and the mutas take another Widow Mine hit. A lot of them are in a deep red. Of course, they will regenerate given time, but Illusion is not going to give her that. She's going to surge forward with their whole army.
She's going for it. The Lings, Roaches, and Banelings surging forward here from Tilea. Illusion trying to kite backwards, trying to leave the Marauders in the front to soak up the Baneling damage. And a great spread once again here from Illusion, but the Muta's taking down all the medevacs above. And I think Tilea is barely going to hold this off, but the story here is going to be the production. The story is going to be what kind of reinforcements does Illusion have compared to his opponent. We're looking at production. We see Lings in production, Mutas in production. While from Illusion, we see a Thor, crazily enough, to deal with the mutas, obviously, and also 3 Marauders, 10 Marines. Illusion already almost remaxed.
Illusion with such great macro behind us. Another army is assembled, like you said there. And Tilly's going to have to basically have the same engagement over and over again, but the creep's been getting pushed back. And of course, there's the upgrade differential there as well. The one Widow Mine continuing to be.
Sad Muta.
Yeah.
Poor little Muta.
Look at this giant army from Illusion.
It's scary,
already.
Man. I don't know what deals with it.
I mean, she's going to need it. She has a lot of baiting. She might be able to deal with this, but instead saying, you know what, the Muta's already crossed the map. Let's just try to deny his 4th yet again. Yeah. If she can keep denying the 4th base of Illusion, he is going to mine out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But it looks like a Marines, a couple Widow Mines, going to be able to deal with that. Illusion taking down Telea's base at the top middle. Meanwhile, Tilea securing a base at the middle left-hand location, the 9 o'clock position. So really going to be important to keep that alive, saturate those gases as fast as possible. Hive is just about to finish as well, so we'll be able to go into 3-3, but can Illusion crush his opponent before 3-3 even gets out?
It looks like Tilly's going to try to squash this army right here, right now.
On the creep, the Lings and Banelings coming forward, trying to get those solid connections, but Illusion just has so much, and the Widow Mines underneath as well is going to be very annoying for Tilea to try to engage us. Always has to be cautious of those random explosions coming out of nowhere. Marauders cleaning up everything on the ground. Still a lot of mutas in the air. The reinforcements trying to clean this up, but again, Illusion is still maxed. I know, guys, I know he just lost a lot of units, but yes, he is still maxed.
Illusion's macro is insane here. These Marauders are going to be cleaned up.
That's okay. They did their job.
Exactly. The Marauders aren't even the most important unit here. The Marines and Widow Mines are much more important. Oh, the Widow Mines! The Mutas are flying right over them. Well, only one gets hit off.
Fairly fortunate there for Tilea, only to lose one. Needs to get an overseer there.
I mean, Tilea, though, her bank that she had built up throughout the game is totally gone now. She's down to 140 food. The Mutas are going to desperately try to see what they can do on a counterattack, but the defense here is very solid.
That was a cool split on the Mutas. Turrets trying to get up. Another Widowmine shot going down onto these Mutas. They're getting very softened up, engaging all these turrets, but some Marines sprinting back to try to engage this, and Tilea is going to have to disengage, and that's such an important base to try to deny here from Tilea, especially considering the state of this game. Her expansions are going to get denied left and right. She's trying to buy herself time to get ultras on the field, to get 3-3 potentially on the field, to let all of these extra bases that she's making get up and running. But Illusion, again, relentless with the pressure. He's been maxed for the past 10 minutes in this game, and he's not going to let up anytime soon. Tilea trying to engage us once and for all, trying to clean it up, but again, Illusion pulling back his Marines, wanting to let the Widowmines do their damage. The Thor's trying to target down those mutas. Tilea desperately trying to hold this off, but this 3-3 bio might be too strong.
There's just so many units from Illusion. He's still maxed out even after that engagement.
Wow.
What a You know what? I was really impressed by Tilea as
I
well.
was too.
She played a great game. Going up against Illusion, like you mentioned, I mean, the reason he's in his challenger group, you could say, is he's had a rough turn of things with as far as the groups he's been in, the players he's faced so far.
Right.
And he looked very strong in that first map.
Yeah, Illusion, again, showing how good his micro is. And such an important theme of that game is just being absolutely relentless, not letting Tilea take a breath, not letting Tilea take a next step while behind all of this aggression, getting his upgrades going, getting his expansions on the ground. But as you said, Tilea doing a great job throughout, trying to deny that base at the bottom middle. But once it finally got set up, once those static defenses finally got set up, once Illusion was able to protect that and continually deny his opponent's bases, Illusion was just able to be too cost efficient with the 3-3 bio. Units lost at the end there was 33,700 to 22,900 in favor of the Terran player. So about a 10,000 resource differential. And I don't care who you are in StarCraft 2, that's going to be very tough to overcome. But Tilea, once again, doing a great job, making a fight out of it. But Illusion is going to be up 1-0 in this best of 3. Guys, stay tuned. Game 2 between Tilea and Illusion coming up.